If we go back to the original Call of Duty games, I'm talking Call of Duty 1, 2, and 3. Those games were based all in World War II, each of which taking place after real-world battles that happened during World War II on various dates. If we go back to Call of Duty 1, we have storming the Reich or even protecting the Yser Dam, which is part of the British campaign. In Call of Duty 2, we had the Battle of Normandy, which, of course, because of various different movies and things along those lines, has become one of the most popular battles within World War II. And then come Call of Duty 3, you had various different campaigns ranging from American, Polish, Canadian, and British and French, playing through all of these real-world battles from back in World War II. And then along came modern warfare, Call of Duty 4. And things were kind of similar to what we saw within World War II, where things would take place in areas of the world where real-world battles or real-world conflicts were going on. And then along came this.
Too much radiation. We'll have to go around. Follow me and keep low.
This is All Ghillied Up. This mission takes place in Pripyat, in the Ukraine, in something that is once again set in the real world, but with a little bit of a twist. You see, this mission is iconic, and not only that, I truly believe that if this mission never existed, Call of Duty as we know it today would not be Call of Duty as we know it today. Last week I made a video about a mission in Black Ops 6 called Emergence and why it was the most hated mission of the game. And as I was making that video, I thought to myself, why haven't I done this more? Where we dive back through past Call of Duty games looking at iconic missions, hated missions, missions that have changed the landscape of Call of Duty as a whole and recognizing them for that. And I thought a good way to start this series that maybe we'll call the Call of Duty Chronicles. If you have a better name, let me know down in the description. But if you want to see more videos like this one, show me by hitting that like button. But as for this video, what we are talking about today is a mission that I truly believe has changed Call of Duty forever. One of my favorite missions, probably one of your favorite missions, but the question is why? And what did this mission do better than any other Call of Duty game? And that mission is, of course, All Ghillied Up.
I was just a lieutenant back then, doing some wet work. Chernobyl, Christmas for the bad guys. Even a decade later, a lot of them still used it to get their hands on nuclear material. A lot of them, including one, Imran Zakhaev. Of course, we couldn't just let that happen. Cash for spent fuel rods. That's one hell of a recipe for destruction. It was the first time our government had authorized an assassination order since the Second World War. I was under the command of Captain Macmillan.
Now, we could talk for probably an hour just about this cutscene, but the thing is this is important for so many reasons. First of all, let's look at the setting of All Ghillied Up. When it comes to this mission, it takes place in Chernobyl, after the Chernobyl disaster, which once again, like the previous Call of Duty games before this one, this is based off of real-world events. However, this time there is a little bit of a twist. Because unlike those previous Call of Duty games, this time we're not just fighting an army, we're not just fighting a country. This time they give us a bad guy by the name of Imran Zakhaev. So unlike just fighting an army with various named soldiers, now we have an assassination to pull off, and that gives us the background of this mission. But where things really start to come together is in the beauty of this mission. Now that may sound weird in like a post-apocalyptic Chernobyl, but they make it absolutely stunning. In the various different sections of this abandoned town that we go through, we see just how much effort went into making this feel and look like you are in a post-apocalyptic area.
We've got a lookout in the church tower and the patrol coming from the north. Look at this place. 50,000 people used to live in the city. Now it's a ghost town. Never seen anything like it.
So whether it be the ambient noise of the children that used to play there, or whether it be just some wind blowing in the background, it wasn't just the visuals, but also the audio of this mission that was absolutely way ahead of its time. Now, as I was saying, in most of these missions in previous Call of Duty games, you were fighting an enormous war and you felt like a very small cog in the wheel. However, when Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare came out, we kind of saw more of the same. Yes, you were an individualized soldier and you followed a tighter-knit group of people, but as a whole, most of the missions were bombastic, huge explosions, feeling like you were a part of a Michael Bay movie. Whether you're defending a point, whether you're storming a ship, or doing something else, it is constant, fast-paced action. Then you have this.
Easy, lad. There's too many of them. Let them go. Keep a low profile and hold your fire. Try to anticipate their paths. If you have to maneuver, do it slow and steady. No quick movements.
Like a good DJ, Call of Duty figured out that maybe sometimes it's actually a little bit better to slow things down. This is really the first time Call of Duty introduced a slower paced mission, where sneaking and killing enemies maybe in a certain order was more important than just going in guns a-blazing.
Beautiful. Target approaching from the north. Take him out quietly, or just let him pass. Your call. Tango down. Go.
So this more stealthy, slower style gameplay made it almost feel as though the game was playing you more like a movie than you were playing it, which was an amazing change of pace and something we would see over and over again, pretty much in one mission every single Call of Duty game. Even in Call of Duty World at War, we had a mission very similar to this with Viktor Reznov. So we can see how All Ghillied Up changed the gameplay of Call of Duty, specifically with these stealthy style missions and more linear movie style missions, if you will. But also, it changed how the story of Call of Duty was told as well. As I mentioned before, this game introduced an antagonist. It was no longer just fighting the enemy army, but rather going after someone in particular. This antagonist was Imran Zakhaev, but that's not the only thing that this game did. It also gave the character's story, and specifically in this mission, it gave Captain Price's story. For the first time ever, they were giving us a little bit of background on one of the main characters. This time, it was Captain Price. He was essentially your leader in the game, but in the mission All Ghillied Up, we get to see him no longer be that leader. He was working under Captain Macmillan, and throughout the mission, you get to see this kind of relationship that they have built.
Don't move. Sniper. Fire escape. 4th floor. Dead ahead. Take him out. Or beautiful. Move out. He's down. Good night. Move.
And then in turn, this is the relationship that we see Captain Price build with his soldiers throughout the rest of the campaign. This was the first and definitely not the last time that we would see this kind of character arc come through various Call of Duty games. We would see characters, we would see their backstories, and we would actually see relationships built with these characters as well. And they also used this mission to build the backstory of the antagonist, Imran Zakhaev, as well. And what's interesting is this part of the mission is actually been used maybe in more Call of Duties than any other story element. We see this come back in Modern Warfare 3 when Makarov was actually the one driving the vehicle that Imran Zakhaev escaped in. On top of that, back in Modern Warfare 2019 when the series was rebooted, we found out that this mission was canon within the reboot.
Enjoy the tea then.
Zakhaev wants Barkov's throne.
I almost buried him in Pripyat with Macmillan.
That was the father. This is the son, Victor.
Lovely family.
So the influence goes far with this mission, but one other thing that I haven't yet said is, yes, where this mission does slow down, by the very end we are left in dire circumstances once Captain Macmillan gets injured.
Sorry, mate. You're gonna have to carry me. If we run into trouble, you'll have to find a good spot to put me down so I can cover you.
And just like that, our stealthy, sneaky mission turns into one where we have to escape, carry Captain Macmillan, and defend him until we are able to get extracted. They take that slow mission and speed it right up to bring us right back to the fact that we are indeed in a Call of Duty game. Again, something that happens in most stealthy missions throughout any Call of Duty game. So as I mentioned, it's iconic for many reasons. The story behind it, the way the mission plays, the ambiance, the atmosphere, all of the above. And this was the beginning when I started to realize each individual Call of Duty game normally has that one mission that is the mission. It stands out amongst all of the rest and is recognized for that time and time again. So this has been All Ghillied Up, and if you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate it if you'd hit that like button, and if you want to see me do this with maybe other missions from other Call of Duty games, the best way to show me is by hitting that like button and letting me know what you'd like me to cover down in the comments below. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.
Look at this place. 50,000 people used to live in the city. Now it's a ghost town.